It's me, your daddy, Roberto.
Me a boy's name that starts with the letter H. Jose.
Then look at me now. How far we go back? Elementary, jump rope, hide and go seek, pity pad, red light, green light, red light, green light.
When you just talk about practice, we sitting here, I supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. We talking about practice, man. But we talking about practice right now. We talking about practice.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
You are tuned into Straight Bet Sports on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network.
All right, here we go. Wednesday night, just past 9 p.m. We are back at it. You are tuned into Straight Bet Sports here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Your home for 24/7 positive hip-hop music, culture, and, of course, sports as well. I am your host, Jose V. Rob G in the studio with me as well. My other half co-host here. Quan59 doing what he does for us every single Wednesday night. Enjoying his tacos. Tacos Mexico, big up to you. We're going to make something happen there. Quan, enjoy those tacos and enjoy the jarritos. We got a special guest in the studio tonight as well. Las Vegas radio personality, good friend of ours. Someone that got me into the media and got me started. Love having him on. Chris went in the studio with us as well. My man, greatly appreciate you jumping on with us. And through Skype, we have Dwayne Colucci, Rampart Casinos Race and Sportsbook manager, great friend of mine, worked with him in the past, known him for many years. We have a fun show tonight. Tonight, it's all about football, all about the NFL. The big game is this Sunday. If you're an NFL fan, if you're a football fan, pretty sure you're going to be off that day watching the game. If you're a bettor like most of us here, except for Quan, because he's not a betting person, I know, you're going to be betting the game. You're looking at the prop bets. You probably already went to the casino and picked up the sheet. We're going to break down some of the action, and we're going to let you guys know what we got there and what people are already betting behind the counter with Dwayne at Rampart. But once again, we are coming to you live from downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. Beautiful night outside. I just got off of work. I'm normally off on Wednesdays, but I'm here doing the show. But before we get going, before we get started, before we jump into it and get talking about everything that's going on football-wise, Quan, if you could please let everybody know who we are being brought. We are brought to you by Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate, a realtor here to help educate current and future Las Vegas locals on selling and investing in real estate. You're probably asking yourself, educate. Yes, there's a surprising amount of adults that when it comes to real estate, don't know the right questions to ask, don't know where to start, and think they need a lot of cash to buy a house in Nevada, which simply isn't true. So Josh has decided to make it his responsibility to teach his clients what they need to know, and equally important, what they need to ask to help ensure making their home ownership dreams a true reality. So make sure you call or text Joshua LaFon today at 702-813-0533. This has been another paid advertisement from Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate. Make sure you give him a call, 702-813-0533. That's right, Joshua LaFon, taking care of us as he does. So for those of you that have been on the show, watching the show, joining us, following us through this great time, we greatly appreciate you. Rob, we're on a year from the first time that I started the show. You weren't on that first show, but did the first show in January of last year, did our Super Bowl preview show, had a lot of guests on that show, a lot of fun times. Dwayne was on my inaugural show as well. So it's fun to have our second annual Super Bowl preview show. And not only that, have it with people that are in the game, in the media, but that also like to bet it, right? You know what I mean? We're all part of that atmosphere, so it's fun. Fun times, fun things to talk about. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and introduce our two guests that we have here tonight, Rob. First of all, let's get Dwayne Colucci on, Rampart Race and Sportsbook manager. What's going on, my man? How's your night going out there?
What's up, Dwayne?
Big Dwayne.
It's going great, guys. Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Big day, man, coming up this Sunday. I know you got a lot for us. We got a lot of questions for you. I know Rob's already getting hyped before we started the show, telling me things. I'm like, hold it, keep it, get it ready for Dwayne. Dwayne's got all the answers, and he's going to let us know all the good things to bet. Trust me, if you guys do not follow this young man, I call you young. I'm sorry. We're all young here, okay? Let's
thank
put it that
you.
way. We're
no,
not old.
thank you. I will take that anytime.
Make sure you guys follow
that,
Dwayne Colucci on all things social media, man. He's always posting the big tickets and what people are betting. If you guys like to see inside stuff, Dwayne likes to post the tickets. He's not going to let you know who bet it. He keeps people confidential, of course, because you got to do that. But he'll show you the tickets. There's tickets out there that I've already seen from South Point. You got 22,000 and win 20,000 on the Bucks. Didn't I not see that a few days ago up on Twitter, Dwayne?
Yes, you did, Jose. And I think right away we took like 55,000 at plus 3.5 over at South Point. So Jimmy's doing his thing. You know, Mr. Vaccaro, his reputation precedes himself. So, it's just great to have him leading the way. And we're looking for some big bets. We've seen a couple of 11 to win 10. I really don't post those on the Super Bowl because I want to see a big one, Jose. I want to put out, like last year, we took 125,000 on the Super Bowl at the Rampart. That was one of the first big bets. But, it's a little different this year with the COVID. And you guys know that. You can see that a lot of the action, that big bet actually on BetMGM was done on a mobile application. Yeah. So, let's keep that in mind. A lot has changed because of COVID. Some of the books are taking bigger bets on the mobile apps. You see how Circa advertises. BetMGM, South Point will take large limits as long as we know who the customer is, and we have all their information once you sign up for the mobile app. So that's not a problem.
Definitely. Now, before we jump into it with Dwayne, let's get to the man to my left, C-Win. What's up, my man? How's it going?
It's going great. It's good to join you guys. I'm fired up for some Sunday action, man. Storylines all over the place.
Yes, sir.
You got the quarterback matchup. You got the guy who's the face of the NFL now going against the GOAT, the greatest quarterback of all time. And then, of course, you got this whole thing where the Tampa Bay Bucks playing at home in their home stadium. First time ever in NFL history that a Super Bowl is going to be hosted by the team that plays there every week. So a lot of fun stuff we can get to on the show today.
Glad to have both of you in studio. Rob, what's good, man? Now let's get you on camera. Let's get you talking.
I've been on camera. You didn't see? No.
You just haven't been talking?
No, I'm excited. No, I'm excited. I'm excited for Sunday, obviously. We got a few things to break down, and it's going to be interesting playing at home, like Chris just mentioned, playing Tom Brady playing at home. So I'm interested to see what you guys got to take because, I got my own take too. So
obviously our teams are not there. One of the teams that was there is there this year, trying to get that back-to-back. Some of us don't feel that they will. But before we get into the Super Bowl talk, before we get into the bets and all that, Dwayne, I want to have some regular football conversation talk with you. A lot of moves being made. A lot of possible moves that could still be made in the NFL. Obviously, one of the biggest deals that did happen a few days ago, and that's why I wanted to bring in C-Win because you're a Lions fan,
right,
was the Matthew Stafford trade for Jared Goff. Basically, swap quarterbacks, got picks. Now, some people say that the Lions got the better of it because they got their picks. They can basically rebuild their team. Some people say the Rams got the better of it because they have the better quarterback to win now with a better win now situation in LA as where they didn't feel that Goff was that guy anymore. So I want to get your take on this, C-Win. What do you, I know you're a fan of the Lions, so some people might say it's a biased take or whatever it may be, but give me your actual take on the situation and why you feel the way you feel about it.
Well, I have to say my initial reaction was I was excited, because I understand where the Lions franchise is right now. It's not a Super Bowl contender. It's not real serious playoff contending team. So I think of it from the standpoint of the draft picks more so than the quarterback swap. Everybody obviously understands that anytime you have a deal like that, that's a blockbuster where you have two starting quarterbacks for teams, or, in my opinion, in the case of Matthew Stafford, a franchise quarterback, right? Not a great franchise quarterback, but he is a franchise quarterback. And when you have a deal that goes down like that, obviously it's going to draw a tremendous amount of attention. And the focus has been on with the Rams is, look, we feel like we have a piece that we've added that can get us to the Super Bowl and win it. Let's be honest. That's all that matters for the Los Angeles Rams in this deal.
Get there
if they
and win
don't get to the Super Bowl, Rob, Jose, and Dwayne, and Quan, then it's in the next 2 years. I'm talking about the next 2 years. If they don't get to the Super Bowl, then the Rams lost this whole trade. Okay. And from a Lions standpoint, it's a situation where, we took on Jared Goff and all this money, but Jared Goff doesn't turn out to be this solid quarterback in Detroit. That's not the end of the story. It's all about those draft picks. And when you've got and let's be honest, a lot of the talk beforehand, once Stafford established that he was no longer going to be in Detroit or didn't want to play in Detroit and wanted to look elsewhere, everybody was talking about, well, what can you get for him? And most of the talk was you can probably get maybe one number 1 draft pick for him, maybe one.
Maybe.
And some people were pushing back against that, saying, "Oh no, I don't know."
I was one of them. I'm not
get
gonna
that.
lie, I was one of them.
Yeah,
I put it
I
on
don't even know if
Twitter.
you can get that.
Yep.
You know, so I was someone who was optimistic, thinking, "Yeah, we can get a first-round draft pick." Once it came into the equation that you could get not just one, but you could get two. Not just two, but you could get a third rounder this year. Not just those 3 picks, but you can also get a guy who's a serviceable NFL quarterback in Jared Goff, who's 26 years old. Okay, and say what you want about his production in the last 2 years. This is a guy who's been to a Super Bowl and has won playoff games in the NFL as a quarterback. So to me, while it looks like a win-win situation, in my overall opinion, for both teams, at the same time, I'd also say that it was a solid pickup for the Detroit Lions, and a franchise, by the way, that has been woeful in the front office position for years. We're talking about GMs that have just been atrocious, okay? Made horrible moves. And so Brad coming in, Brad Holmes, the new GM now, of course, with a new coach and a new GM, with him coming in and making this move, I think that it gives a lot of people hope in Detroit. And listening to Detroit sports media over the last 4 or 5 days, people are very happy in Detroit, and people are very happy in Los Angeles that are Rams fans, because they feel that Stafford is a guy that you plug in place of Goff that can get them over that hump, and that's all that matters. So I was very happy with the trade going down.
So, I mean, in a win-now situation, like I was saying before, I think win-now, the Rams got the better of it, because I believe that Stafford is the better quarterback right now. He's more experienced. You know what I mean? Even though he's only, one playoff win, I believe it is? Or was it?
He doesn't have any playoff wins.
No playoff wins. I'm sorry. Now, people say, okay, Jared
Goff.
Goff.
3 games.
People say Jared Goff got you to a Super Bowl. No, the Rams defense got you to a Super Bowl. Let's be real here. And then when he had to show up.
The offensive pieces around Goff, too.
Exactly.
I think, when he had Gurley, obviously. And
different team, obviously, different offensive situations. But Jared Goff has a great offense. The receivers that they have in L.A., I think Matthew Stafford's going to have a field day throwing the ball. But I also agree. If you get to the playoffs, you need to win a playoff game. Stafford has to do that first in LA. He needs to win a playoff game. If you do that and you don't make it to the Super Bowl, okay, cool. But second year, you have to at least sniff the Super Bowl, at least get to that championship game, at least show some type of hope that it was worth it. But I do agree with you. You have to get to that Super Bowl by the second year. You have to get to that Super Bowl by the second year. And I think they have that team to win now. Now, in the long run, yes, possibly the Lions got the better of it, because they can use those draft picks to better build that team around Goff. So Goff's also in a rebuild situation here, but he's also not a bad quarterback. He's got a lot of things to work on. I'm not completely sold on him, especially when the Rams signed him to that big deal. I mean, hey, he got you to the Super Bowl. That's why they signed him. I get it. But I think that this deal is yet to be seen, and it's based off of what Jared Goff's going to do in Detroit.
But not a lot of leeway, you guys, when it comes to the Rams. There's not much wiggle room, okay?
No, zero.
And you said the second year they have to be able to sniff a Super Bowl. Let me tell you something, okay? The Rams need to win the Super Bowl by not this upcoming year, but the year after that.
Yeah.
If they don't win the Super Bowl next 2 years, the Lions, you can say, have won that regardless. I mean, look, it's obviously it's February of 21. We don't know what the Lions are going to do with those draft picks yet, because they're a couple years down the line when we're going to finally figure out everything. But, the Rams, we're going to find out pretty soon whether or not this trade ended up being a good thing for the franchise. Yeah.
Guys, Rob, Dwayne, who wants to chime in?
You want to go, Dwayne?
It's a matter of how much confidence that Stafford has. But I think he's playing now with a coach that's hands and above anything he's played with in the past and has been coached by. So I think Stafford does have the pressure, but the Detroit front office still has to make those picks. And that's been a front office that's been notorious for making mistakes. So, I'm like you, Jose. It's up in the air. I think the Rams are definitely built to win a Super Bowl within the next 2 years. If Stafford plays with confidence, it's a tremendous upgrade from Goff. Think of how bad the Lions are going to be next year. I'm already thinking win totals in my head, guys, and it's going to be about 5.5.
That's what you think the total will be, 5.5 wins?
There's pressure on Stafford, but with McVay now, I think that's a deadly combination. And as long as Kupp stays healthy, like you said, Jose, and I think Chris said it too, that was a Todd Gurley team that took the Rams to the Super Bowl. It was not Goff. It was defense, and it was Gurley. So I think that definitely the Rams are, under the focus, but they're right there. Look at how good they played this year. So I think the Rams could definitely make it to the Super Bowl and possibly win it within the next 2 or 3 years. I mean, you go back 5 weeks ago, guys, the Rams were like the top dog to, knock off and play defense with the Kansas City Chiefs and maybe be a Super Bowl underdog. A lot of people had Rams buzz, and we were booking a lot of futures on the Rams. So that was with Jared Goff, and Goff broke his thumb. So I think Stafford, there's a lot of pressure on this kid, naturally. No playoff wins. Goff has playoff wins. Goff went to a Super Bowl. But I really think it's a tremendous upgrade. I think surrounded with that coaching staff, if Kupp and those guys could remain healthy, that's a massive factor. That offense will be deadly. And, you don't see great defenses winning championships anymore, but they do have one of the best defenses. And if their offense can elevate to the level and surpass their defense, they're definitely going to be in the playoffs and possibly in the Super Bowl. So a lot of pressure, don't get me wrong, on Stafford. But I like it from both sides. I mean, Detroit's picks are further down. We don't know who they're going to, select, who's going to be available. You have to take this into consideration. Think of how many busts, guys, are out there. And you're going to have to, bank on Goff and, some of these other guys to step up. So it's going to be tough on Detroit, just as tough as the Rams getting to the Super Bowl.
Once again, you are tuned in to Straight Bet Sports here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Quan, I heard you shaking your head. I saw you shaking your head, and you said you disagreed on something that Dwayne said. I want to get your take on it.
I can't remember.
Come on. The tacos were that
what
good?
What was it?
He was saying
Which
something
part?
about Todd Gurley.
Oh, yeah. Todd Gurley wasn't playing that good in the playoffs that year. They weren't.
He's talking about at least getting
No,
into the
when they went to the
playoffs.
Super Bowl, you mean?
Yeah.
Them the whole regular season.
Okay, yeah,
So he
but
carried them the whole
once
year.
they got in the
Look at
playoffs, they had
stats.
the former
He
Falcons
got
running
hurt
back.
before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He got hurt in the game before the Super Bowl.
But Dwayne makes a great point, you guys, about the pressure thing. Think about this. Matthew Stafford hasn't won one playoff game in his career. Now he's got this 8,000-pound elephant on his shoulder in LA saying, you know what? In the next 2 years, you got to lead us to a Super Bowl victory, or else this was a waste of time.
At the age of
35.
Yeah. He'll be 35 in 2 years.
You know what I'm saying, though, right? I mean, the pressure has to just be immense.
It's
on
building
Matthew
up a lot
Stafford
more
right
than
now.
it was in Detroit. Definitely now. Definitely
100%.
now.
Yes.
Rob, what do you think, bro?
I mean, I don't think the pressure's that much on. I mean, coming from Stafford. I mean, so I heard that Stafford's like dating someone or related to McVay. Not related, but somehow he's dating someone in the McVay family or something like that. So, I mean, they know each other.
There's a relationship there,
Stafford's
is what you're
married, and he and his wife Stafford, Kelly Stafford, and Sean McVay, was it last week? They were down in Cabo together or something.
Yeah,
they were like hanging out
hang
together.
Yeah, they hang out already. They're like in the same circle or whatever. But
And Goff was trying to hang out with McVay's wife.
there we go. That's the reason for the trade. But it doesn't. It didn't. I mean, this I think caught all of us off guard. Right? We're all talking about Watson every single day.
Yep.
And now Carr. They're talking about Carr today, and moving
It was
forward.
perfect that everyone was talking about Watson because this trade went under the radar.
Under the radar, I think the Rams gave up. The Rams gave up a little bit too much, but that just kind of shows you how much they really wanted to get rid of Goff, right? It wasn't just like, hey, let's do a straight up trade. But
not only that, didn't the Rams give up 2 first-round draft picks to move up to get Goff? Wasn't it something like that? Or I'm thinking about
they had
another
the
team.
number one.
I'm
They
thinking
had the
of
number
another
one.
team. There was another team. Oh, oh my. Keep going, but there's another
But
team that I'm
keep in
thinking
mind,
about.
though, Goff, is making a ton of money. So
Yeah,
that was
right.
another reason,
They
another
got
part of the
4 years
motivation
left
why
on his deal or something like
the
that.
Rams were
Yeah.
happy to get that salary off. So,
I mean, you guys said. I mean, you guys.
saying.
No. But you guys said most of it. I mean, I don't really think any of these teams are going to do anything. I mean, win through up to 2-14 next year for the Detroit.
Dwayne, I said I'm a Lions fan. I'm saying 2-14.
Plus,
Obviously, I'm discounting Jared Goff doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not.
But just imagine the picks you're going to
Thinking
have
he's gonna
on
do
top of
something.
that. If you finish 2-14, then you're going to have the picks that you just got plus plus those picks.
But
So
we're gonna have 2 picks anyway. 2 first-round picks.
Right? Exactly.
regardless,
So
yeah.
exactly. So I mean, you guys are set up for success. The front office definitely has to.
Still got Minnesota and the Bears in that division. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
We'll win more than 2 games.
That's
Angry
probably
Bay.
true.
Well,
but-
and the Rams have a tough time because they're in a super tough division with the 49ers. The Cardinals are always
Right.
getting better. And the 49ers are
And
going to
there's
be healthy
Seattle.
next year.
Yep.
A healthy
And then he was-
49ers team is better than that Rams team, no matter who their quarterback is.
Shout out to Goose Thomas, let the ball bounce. He always chimes in on Facebook. He's out there talking about we're just basically going to forget that we got a completely healthy Rams team. No one's forgetting about, I'm sorry, Niners. No one's forgetting about the Niners. We're just talking about the Rams in the trade right now, Goose. That's all. No one's forgetting about the Niners. As a matter of fact, my boss at work is a Niner fan, and we were having a conversation about Jimmy G. We're talking about how he could possibly, will he go to New England? If so, who would you want? What type of quarterback? That offense is solid. That defense is great. We know that. So are you guys a quarterback away? We know that the Niners are good. Ain't nobody forgetting about the Niners. We're just talking about the Rams in the trade right now.
Deshaun Watson will look good in red.
Hey,
very good.
He would look very good in red. Now, that's actually the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. There's still speculation. There's still whirlwind. There's still talk going crazy if Watson's going to get traded, if not. The new GM, I believe, has come out and said, we have no interest in trading the player. Obviously, that's what he has to say. That's part of the corporate stuff. You have to read behind the script and say what they tell you. But at the end of the day, pretty sure they're probably getting phone calls. I'm pretty sure they're probably getting some type of trade offers. Now, my question to you guys, and it kind of ties back to the Raiders and Deshaun Watson in a way, and Derek Carr. Mm-hmm. If Matthew Stafford was able to garner this type of trade with this many picks, do you think Derek Carr is worthy of that? If they're trying to trade him away to another team to garner picks, to get more, to possibly trade those to get Deshaun Watson. Now, I know I'm probably giving you guys a crazy wild out scenario, but I was just thinking outside the box because I didn't think Matthew Stafford was worth this much. Carr's younger. Carr's a good quarterback. His numbers are solid. He's decent. He's been to a Pro Bowl, I believe. He has been a Pro Bowler. He's been to the playoffs, but he got hurt when he had messed up his knee. Can he garner this type of trade, do you think? And do you see the Raiders making some type of movement? I know John Gruden says Derek Carr's our guy. I know Mayock says the same thing. But come on, let's be real, guys. If Deshaun Watson is there and there's some type of way for them to get to Deshaun Watson, are they really going to pass that up?
No, absolutely not. I think if you have to trade up Carr, if you have to trade, obviously Carr, and I could see the trade that we just talked about, the Lions and the Rams. I can see them giving up that for Watson. 2 first rounds. I mean, they still. I mean, I don't know how many picks they have left from the Khalil Mack trade. You know what I mean? So I think they have some picks lined up from trades that they've already made or from some moves that they've already made. So I would not be shocked to see that type of trade for a Deshaun Watson at this moment in time. I think Gruden's got a lot on his plate too, because he hasn't, I know the plan was, everyone keeps talking about in Oakland, and it's been the first 3 years now, but I know the plan was to get to Vegas, and then we'll see what happens from there. I don't think the plan was to succeed in Oakland, but now that they're here, they did okay this year. Obviously, they beat the Chiefs one time. I think they beat twice. No, they beat the Chiefs twice, right? Excuse me. But I think I would definitely take that trade any day of the week for Deshaun Watson. Whatever you want.
Who else wants to chime in?
Here was the thing on that, right? As soon as that big Lions-Rams trade went down, everybody on social media was like, oh my gosh, if Matthew Stafford garners this much respect, what the heck is Deshaun Watson going to get? And you had all the people in New York with the Jets fans and the New York media all going crazy saying, oh my God, we're going to give us so much to get Deshaun Watson in New York on the Jets or any other team too. So I mean, I guess connecting what you just said, Jose, about both Derek Carr and Deshaun Watson, when it comes to Derek Carr, no, I don't think he's as good a quarterback as Matthew Stafford. And I don't think he would garner as much attention as far as a trade or as many assets as a Matthew Stafford. But I absolutely believe that Deshaun Watson, because we're talking about a top 5 quarterback in the NFL when his head's right, with Deshaun Watson, he absolutely, the Houston Texans deserve getting back as much or more than what Stafford garnered in that trade with the LA Rams. So I think it also has to do too with teams and how desperate they are, right?
Yeah.
Because the Rams are saying we want to win a Super Bowl now. So that's why they end up giving up that extra number 1 pick, and it seemed like such a sweet deal.
And
so
they see something in Stafford that no one else did.
I think if you're the Texans, you don't trade Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry. It's not like we've got.
There's reports that he's saying that he'll sit out. I mean,
I don't think it's
Le'Veon Bell all over again.
Well, then they need to get somebody, fired up top, because it sounds like that's what he's more upset about. I think it's more, what was like? It's more of a like a team. It's not the players that he's playing with, right? It's just more of like a GM or above, whoever's calling the shots in the tech in Houston, excuse me. But yeah, if I were them, I would try to mend that bond, that relationship you have with him, because he's too good to give up right now. And I don't think, what they have coming back, and they, what they have right now on their roster and stuff like that. I mean, it's worth going all out and trying to keep him and make him happy, whether you have to pay him more or whatever. But yeah.
The problem is they already fired people, and then they hired people without talking to him, and that's why he wants to leave in the first place.
Exactly.
So I don't think doing anything is going to make him happy except trading him. He's not going to play for them again.
I don't think it's not like a James Harden scenario.
For them again.
I don't think it's like I haven't heard that he said he's going to sit out. If that's what he said, that's what he said. But I don't think it's like a James Harden scenario.
So what do you think, Dwayne?
Yeah, well, it's such a tough situation. And, I don't believe that Derek Carr is the answer there. Definitely. You're going to have to give up Waller as well, multiple picks. I think then, does he have a chance to win if you don't surround him with anything? I think that's a major factor in his mind as well. Watson wants to go to a place where he could win. And I think it's important to him because now he took a stand. And if you just go to another rebuilding area, the 49ers really look appealing. And if they could put together a package deal, I think Watson would love it there. He talked about the Jets a little bit. That's, it's tough to win there right now. You have to surround this kid with great players. He's not going to win. He's not going to play for the Texans, like Juan said, and he's not going to win with the Jets. I guess the Raiders could put together a deal, but like I said, it's giving up too much, and then you're back to square one. So, Deshaun Watson is in a tough position. Houston is in a tough position. New GM, he's saying all the right things, but he's not going to play there. I agree with Quan. Yeah, you got to move this guy. Maybe if the Raiders put together a massive deal, they're not out of the question, but he has to go to a place where he could prove himself. Remember, this is another guy that played with the greatest wide receiver in the game and could not win. And, that's skeptical, too. Don't I'm putting it out there. I think Hopkins is the best. But, I mean, if you can't win with him and they had an adequate running game, I mean, granted, the coach was horrible. Bill O'Brien made every mistake you could make. But still, you can't go all the way and take 5 steps back if you're Watson. So I think he wants to win. I think it's important. But, there might not be a place where he could go and win immediately.
He has to agree to the trade, too, right?
Correct.
He has to agree to it, too.
Yeah.
Quan?
Yeah, he has a no trade clause.
Right.
But this is also the Houston team that just traded Watkins for a horrible running back and like a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah.
So you might be able to get him for not as much as you think.
Well, it's a different GM now, too.
Yeah,
It is
a
a different GM. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
But still, same ownership.
Same owner.
And to Jose's point, he brought it up. I think the GM is trying to establish some leverage here, right? Because you don't want a situation where you've got Deshaun Watson saying, I can't play. There's no way I'm going to ever play here again. And you don't want the organization to be like, well, we don't want you here either at all. So I think that's kind of the reasoning why what you pointed out, where the GM's like, we still don't think we're going to trade him. We still, we want to keep Deshaun Watson here in Houston. Do we believe it or not? Probably not, but you do have to establish some type of leverage.
I got you.
Yeah.
Definitely. Good conversations, good talk. Anybody else? Everybody good on that?
Deshaun to the Niners.
Deshaun to the
I'm with that, too.
What is it? Quanstradamus?
Quanstradamus.
You heard it here first.
Trade him for Dak Prescott.
Trade him for Dak Prescott. How about that?
Dallas, sign Prescott, and trade.
Trade him for Jared Goff and 2 number 1 picks and a 3rd rounder. That's what I say.
There you go.
All right, guys. So now we can kind of move into Super Bowl before we actually get into the picks, into the bets, and all that stuff. I'm also going to get everybody's Super Bowl pick tonight, so I hope you already have that ready for us as well. But the Chiefs barber tested positive for COVID-19.
Mid-haircut,
Daniel Kilroy, which is the backup center, was getting a haircut. First report said that mid-haircut, they pulled the barber after the test came back positive. Other reports say that Kilgore said, no, I told him, you already did close contact, finish up my haircut anyways. It is what it is. Long story short, him and Demarcus Robinson are on the COVID-19 list, but are still eligible to play in Super Bowl as long as they test positive for the negative for the next 5 days, basically straight 5 negative tests. So they're not up in the air, but Patrick Mahomes was also one of the guys in line. There were 20 people in line. It's not said where he was in that line, but he was in line to get that haircut as well. crazy how COVID is possibly sounding like it could affect this game with the big names. You know what I mean? Obviously, I don't think it's going to happen. It was just the barber, close contact. Mahomes wasn't there. Not the big names that we expected possibly that would have jumped on this list or get crazy. But it's crazy how this is still there. It's still, I mean, it's not going to go away for a while. It's going to be in every single sport. We have it in college basketball where some games are being postponed. We have it in hockey with the Golden Knights. They missed, 4 straight games I think they were postponed. So it's crazy how this can scare and could possibly affect the Super Bowl. I don't think it's going to happen, but did you guys read into this? Did you guys see any of this by any chance?
I just want to say, well, I don't have too much to say on this topic, but why is there a line? Right, like it's 2021 in the COVID. You figure there would be some type of protocol put into place where, like, hey, Patrick, you're up next. All right, head over.
Yeah.
Right, but they're saying that there's a line, like they're all lined up against the wall, like just waiting, texting, and tweeting on their phones. Hopefully 6 feet apart. But why is there a line? Who waits in a line of 20 people to get a haircut? I mean, how quickly are you going to get your haircut? Like, at that 20 people deep, if you're the last person in line, that's at least a 4-hour wait. Like, I think more reports are going to come out and say, talk about this, but I don't understand how there was a line in a professional, atmosphere like that. So that's all I got to say. I mean, I think everyone's going to play. I don't think there'll be any issues, but that's something I didn't get. That's the first thing that popped in my mind.
But Dwayne, isn't this like the worst case scenario that the NFL could possibly fathom when it comes to you're in the middle of COVID-19 and you're just, a matter of basically hours away from kickoff of the Super Bowl. And as Jose points out, you have a possibility, any possibility at all, that people like Pat Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Kelsey and Brady, all these these guys could not be in the Super Bowl. You want to talk about the ultimate, monkey wrench thrown into a situation or a scenario, or just destroying the integrity of the Super Bowl. Something like this, if the worst case scenario happened where they had to say, oh, you know what? We have 12 of our players that are not going to be able to participate.
Postpone.
In Super Bowl 55. That's funny, though. You mentioned postpone. How can you postpone the Super Bowl when
Valentine's Day?
All this stuff has happened. There's been all these cases in every sport where there have been, teams that have had to halt playing, and they haven't, and they just basically haven't said it's going to affect the outcome as far as a championship. This would be the ultimate craziness. It would be.
Grab the points now.
Grab the points now while you can.
Grab the +3.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
But Rob's right. Rob hit it on the head. Postpone. The NFL step right in. If 13, 14 guys on the Chiefs start to have this and you start to have the positive tests, that they encountered, other players, and the possibility and the probability of just having a Super Bowl tarnished. I don't think the NFL, being such a big business, would allow that to happen. But, from a bookmaker's standpoint, we would have to make the adjustments if they play through, and that's going to be really interesting to see. Another great point Rob made, though. I mean, come on, 20 people in line. Now,
even Dwayne's like, come on.
I don't even wait.
My haircutter called me this week, said she had COVID. So she let me know ample ahead of time, you know what I'm saying? But there's never anybody online. The way even she does business now, she sets the appointments up very nicely. Nobody sitting in a waiting room, nothing like that. You're talking about an NFL team, and 20 people were online. And like Rob said, what is the last guy online waiting 4 hours for a haircut? I mean, there's got to be more. Great points, Rob. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. There's got to be more to this story.
But let me play devil's advocate, though. You wouldn't let me. Let me quickly play devil's advocate, though, Dwayne, on this, okay? Because I got to believe, right, there's some type of NFL protocol going on right now, on Super Bowl week as far as testing, right? And these players are all, either quarantined or in certain situations where everybody's getting tested daily, probably, right? So there's probably a mentality among the players, since this was all players, right, in line. It wasn't like there was a bunch of.
I think it was some staff.
But what I'm saying is, it wasn't a bunch of just average Floridians that just kind of wandered into this guy's barbershop, right, or into this situation. It was just the players for the Chiefs, right?
Correct.
So I would expect that the Chiefs probably all said to themselves, "Oh, we're going to be fine. We've all been tested. We've tested negative, and we've been under this protocol that they're in." So I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, as you guys point, because you guys do point out make a great point. when it comes to why there are 20 people in line. And by the way, they should be social distanced, right? If there's 20 people in line, there should be 6 feet apart. And they should be wearing masks too. You know, I saw a video today of a Publix down in Florida today where nobody in the whole store was wearing a mask. So, you know,
Trust me, I went to Florida a few weeks ago. Trust me, I know.
I'm not trying to get political on the show, but
they're open.
Yeah, Florida's kind of just wide open right now. So, I mean, it's kind of par for the course, to be honest with you, that there would be 20 players, you know, in line for this type of situation.
And then you think about, like, this barber. How was somebody that didn't get their test results back yet? Like, you figure this team already had why don't you have a barber with you all the time, right? Like
that person that goes with you
you
gets
can't
tested with the team every
right. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's probably cut this team before, but I'm like, how are you letting someone cut someone's hair before their test results has even come in on Super Bowl week?
That's a mistake.
Right. Secondly, why are you getting your cut on a Wednesday? You want to look fresh on Sunday. I mean, that's,
wait till Friday.
Right. Why are you getting your cut so early in the week? I guess you got press week. I guess you got press, right?
Yeah.
Good conversations, though, man. I know you guys weren't gonna get into it too much, but we did. That was sweet. But look, you are tuning to Straight Bet Sports here on Gorilla Cross Radio. Once again, I am your host, Jose V, Rob G, Quan59, Chris Wynn, and Dwayne Colucci. Got a big show tonight. Lots of people on. But let's jump right into it now, guys. Dwayne, let's jump behind the counter with you. Let's talk some NFL prop bets. Let's talk some Super Bowl betting. We'll talk about the actual game line towards the end of the show. But right now, I want to get into some of the prop bets and some of the things that you've seen so far since the prop bets came out at Rampart. You did send me some of the sheets. Now, I'm going to start with one, and then I'll let Rob jump into one that he wants after, because I know he's got a couple that he wants to ask your opinions on. I like to look at what player is going to score first. I always like that because of the type of numbers that you can get, because anyone can score in the Super Bowl. But then you also have, will certain players score in the Super Bowl? Can so-and-so score a touchdown? I think Leonard Fournette was plus 130. Not a big number, but a very enticing bet. You know, you could put 100 on that. You know, Leonard Fournette, very good possibility he can score a touchdown in this game. Let's be real. Yep. In my opinion, I would take a bet like that. I know, like I said, it's not a huge number, but it's still a plus side on the bet. Now, when it comes to the prop bets, Dwayne, what do people go towards more that you've seen, whether it's this year or in the previous years? What do you see that are the more favorite of the prop bets? Is it the alternate scores, whether they're taking the dog as a favorite and getting a better number, or like I said, a player to score first, or like one that I really, really like to bet because you're getting numbers like this? Will the Chiefs' first scoring play be a safety, 75-1? Will the Bucks' first scoring play be a safety, 25-1? Obviously, I see the differences. Bucks have a better defense. I can understand the line there. But again, what do you see more than anything that people levitate to and enjoy to bet more on the props?
A lot of the safety props have been now, because you see and you look over the last few years and there have been safeties. So now they're becoming more popular, obviously, because you get those huge odds. You do see some people bet that, and the public are enamored with that. Will there be a 2-point conversion? That's another popular one. And always the most popular, first player to score and last player to score. You're always going to get a lot of action on that because you have everybody listed basically, and you can bet on your favorite player if you feel Fournette has a chance. Even if you love Patrick Mahomes at low odds, or Kelsey at low odds, you're gonna get some action across the counter on these players. So anytime a name is attached with a ticket, it's definitely a huge attraction, Jose. So you're not alone. That's one of the most popular proposition bets, if not the most, to score the first touchdown and as well now to score the last touchdown. Also, we've added the MVP in the last few seasons. So,
yeah, I see that
that's become another option now. Who's going to win the MVP of the game? So when you do have the names and you can bet on the Bradys, the Kelseys, the Mahomes, Fournette, all these top players, even Gronkowski at long odds, you're going to have people betting on these players to score the first touchdown. Also, the 3 consecutive scores, guys, you know that.
Rob likes those. Popular. I know you like those.
There's like 4 now. You can do 4 consecutive.
It happens, it always happens. And the 2-point conversion, like I said, this year is a very popular one. You do have a lot of guys missing extra points. Kickers are having problems over the last few years since they put that extra point a little back further. So you do have that opportunity of a missed extra point and then a team going to make up the point for 2 points. Also, shortest touchdown of the game. And even some, let me tell you, some people, they love to play the coin toss. And that's, to me, we have a minus 102 VIG, the lowest in town on both sides at the Rampart and South Point. So it's become, somewhat popular. People bet on that.
What's the max?
There's degenerates out there.
What's the max
guys,
you're taking?
We love each and every one of these people that wager on all of our props. And you have to watch the way the prop flow goes. Sometimes the prop even outhandles the game action. So the handle sometimes, if the props are really intense, and like we have 18 pages, other properties have even more. The Westgate puts up an immense amount. You will have the prop action somewhat get equal to the game action in handle. So, it's a fun time of the year, guys. My favorite, I like to pick players to score the first touchdown. I won't lie. I've been betting the 2-point conversion this year. I think there's going to be a 2-pointer. So those are some of my favorites. But those are also the ones that garner the most handle from a bookmaker's standpoint. And, so far handle has been really, really good. This is what we wanted, guys. This is the major attraction. A lot of people do back Green Bay as well. Don't get me wrong. But having the Chiefs there, Patrick Mahomes, and the legend, the GOAT, Tom Brady, it doesn't get much better from a handle point of view. We're loving it from my side of the count at the Rampart and South Point.
So I have a question for you.
What's the max, first of all? What's the max
it's on here? It's 2,000.
Oh, it is 2,000. Okay,
I see it. It's on here. My question
on the props, yeah.
My question for you, Dwayne, before I let the guys jump into it with you as well, and then I'll sit back for a bit. What do you tell someone that hasn't bet the Super Bowl, or that's just new to betting, that's coming into town, or that already lives here, that wants to jump on these props? What type of advice would you give to them on how to study these props or how to understand what it is they're looking at?
Well, it all depends on the bets. I have an excellent staff, and we're always there, ready to help the public, ready to accommodate at the Rampart Casino. So, most of the people that are novices, Jose, they come in just looking to bet the game. So they're asking, how do I put $10 on Tom Brady? I have to explain, do you want the points? Do you want the money line? The several options we have. Now, people that are looking for props on a first, time playing basis, I would recommend they take our 18 pages, sit down. Hopefully they come in earlier than Sunday to where they can absorb and start to look over these props, because the last thing you want to do is come in unprepared on the Sunday and then start to handicap props and you have no idea what's going on, guys. So, it's very important. If you're going to dabble in props for the first time, I would always recommend coming in. We have them usually the Thursday before, so they've been out for an extensive amount of time now. You also don't want to get the worst odds. Definitely. The odds will only go down on players to score the first touchdown because we're getting action from all angles, guys. It isn't really a balanced formula because you will have people still betting 20s and 30s on Gronkowski at 70-1 or say, large odds, as many as you have the people that are betting 1,000 on Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, and guys like that to score the first touchdown. So, you're only going to get depleted odds if you're looking to bet on the player props, and you're going to get adjustments on the VIG, on the line props. If you really like Tampa and you want to lay more points, you have to, get down early because we're going to adjust the VIG and the plus on that. We open certain props, as you can see on the first page, the point spread props that we have. Tampa Bay minus 6.5, opened at plus 335. Well, now I believe it's sitting at 320. So you lose the 15 cents there of profit, even though you're laying the 6.5 points because you got down a little late. You have to remember the sharps are all over these props. They line up the minute we start to put them out. They're the guys that review the professional handicappers, and they will deplete the price on what they feel are their most sharpest edge, or they feel they have an edge against me, the bookmaker. So, when you're betting props on the first time, just try to come in a little earlier so we could explain the gist of it. Very difficult, to explain and absorb from a customer's point of view, all that I'm going to try to, inform you about. So it takes some time. Hopefully, you watch some football and you can relate. But I would recommend just betting the game if you're a novice bettor, taking a chance on picking one of the sides. And if you like the underdog, maybe even waiving the points and taking the money line. And I would also point you in the direction of the player props, because people are familiar with names. So therefore, it's easier to explain as opposed to 3 consecutive scores. Will there be a defensive touchdown, etc.
Dwayne Colucci, Rampart Racing Sportsbook Manager, here joining us on Straight Bet Sports on Gorilla Cross Radio. Guys, go ahead. Let Dwayne have it. Ask him away, because I know you had some, Rob, so go for it.
I just look for kind of like props. Actually, I just kind of found one Jose was talking about. I look for like correlated props, like compared to like what the spread is and stuff like that. So one that I saw was, I don't know if I have a question about it, but we can all talk about it. But will Patrick Mahomes have a touchdown pass in the first quarter? No, I don't know what it's at now, but obviously on this paper, this is coming from Boyd Gaming. No is minus 150. And if Tom Brady will throw a pass in the first quarter, no is minus 170. So, if we think there's going to be a touchdown in the first quarter, it's going to be from a running back, right? If they don't think that if they're willing to open a line at minus 150 and minus 170, that there will not be a thrown touchdown by either quarterback, I think that you would lean towards like a Leonard Fournette, right? Yeah. Or you would lean towards someone like that. So that's something that I actually caught off. I had that circled, actually, just those two. Because that kind of caught me off guard that both to not throw a touchdown in the first quarter was favored. But the one that I wanted to ask Dwayne about was I saw this, and I know you're looking through a page of like 18 pages, like you said. But the one that I saw, Dwayne, is the Chiefs to win by 1 to 6 points is on the paper. Obviously, we're talking, it may have changed, but it's 3-1, right? And then you go Chiefs to win by 7 to 12. Is 9-2, which is about a plus 450. Plus 450. I don't know why it's plus 450. But then when you look at the Buccaneers to win by 1 to 6 is plus 280, and then for them to win by 7 to 12 is 4-1. Both less than the Chiefs to win from 1 to 12, but yet the Chiefs are favored in that game. Like I don't understand how that makes sense.
Okay, see, we have a tighter, Rob, at the Rampart and the South Point. Mm-hmm. See, we broke it down into 3 points.
Yeah, they have different
Chiefs
ones.
1 to 3, 7-1. Chiefs 4 to 6, 8-1.
But you figure you expanded more on the Chiefs.
7 to 10, 7-1. So you're getting better odds, but there's, you have to fall within 7 to 10. It's less points. That's why you're getting less odds. Now, to justify the not scoring of the touchdowns, getting back to your first one, let's all remember Tom Brady has scored in 9 Super Bowl appearances, 3 points in the first quarter. 3 points for Tom Brady's teams. So that's why you're seeing a minus on his no. And we all know that the Chiefs are a very slow starting offense. The first quarter, there's always
first
behind.
Half.
And, if you look at it, they're definitely behind usually in the first quarter. So it's hard for Mahomes to get them off. I think it's going to change a lot this year. I think Brady is really going to come out firing, guys. He has to accomplish what he did against Green Bay and score early. So I would actually take and go against the grain. I think everybody knows the stat. They're beating it to death that Brady only has 3 points in the first quarter in 9 appearances. I think they're going to score in the first quarter, and I think Brady's going to throw a touchdown this year. So I'm going against the grain in that prop. The Boyd props there, I understand what you're saying, that the Chiefs are actually the favorite. They must be taking action on Tampa Bay and Tom Brady on those certain props to lower it. You remember, as the money comes in, we start to lower the propositions. And like you said, as the sharps start to lay down, those props get constricted. And I think that if Tampa Bay is going to win the game, it's going to obviously be between 1 and 6 points. I don't believe that they're capable of blowing out this awesome Kansas City Chiefs team, but they're definitely capable of winning.
I know I saw that meme. I know I saw that stat where Patrick Mahomes hasn't lost by 1 possession since like being at Texas Tech. Like it's crazy. Like he hasn't lost by more than 1 possession since being in college. But real quick, since you talk about Since you like the 2-point conversion, because I have that here as well. What do you have? Will there be a 2-point conversion attempt? Not succeed, or will there be a successful 2-point conversion? But what do you have? Because on Boy they have it. Yes. Will there be an attempt at even money, which is pretty good if you think that there's going to at least be a 2-point conversion, attempted.
Right. We have, will there be a successful 2-point conversion?
You don't have
That's
the attempt?
right on the front page of our props. Yeah, we don't have that other one. We have,
An
will
attempt?
there be a successful? And that's 2-1.
Oh,
So,
okay. I like the attempt at even. Like, you just got to attempt it, whether you get it or not. It's even. That's a good one. I mean,
the attempt I like. No, I like the even money. Don't get me wrong. We don't offer all the same props. That's each unique shop doing their thing, Rob.
Definitely.
I'm not contradicting you. I think there will definitely be an attempt because I think there's going to be a 2-point conversion. So I would have to love your bet. And there's no vig being laid. So, I bet horses, you know me, guys.
Yes.
If an even money's going to win, I'm going to take the even money and run with it. So I love that wager. Yes, Rob.
Right.
I like
Will there be
that
an even?
a lot better than having to have it successful at my shop.
Right.
Speaking of horses, real
Get it
quick,
together.
and you guys don't have to chime in on this, but I know Dwayne, if you guys have not seen the movie about the female horse rider that won the 2015 Melbourne Cup, bro, great movie. I saw it last night. If you don't know much about horse racing, that movie.
What's the name of it?
Jeez. Wow.
I can't think of it, but I'm
You know what I'm talking about, right,
It was
Dwayne?
so good.
Yes,
Michelle,
Pfeiffer.
No, the girl. It's the girls.
Anyways, and Seabiscuit.
Anyways, what you got? What you got,
She's
Chris?
still playing?
So Dwayne, you're making the point about shops are different, right? And we love it Super Bowl time because you have the cross sport props, right? Where you have an opportunity to bet whether it's LeBron James points and rebounds, gets the most points in the game and all this stuff. And we as bettors out there, we love, I don't know what you have exactly as far as cross sport props because I've got the two. I've got a couple player sheets in front of me from Rampart. But talk to me about kind of the impact that has on a Super Bowl Sunday, where you've got those available out there. Where it's got to be tough to just handicap it, right? When you're talking about different sports, different teams, different scenarios, different players, and you're trying to actually make an educated sports betting decision when these come into play.
Yeah, it's very difficult, I'll tell you, Chris. And we're holding off this year. We're going to put them up a little closer to the game because, as you could see, the Vegas Golden Knights, COVID. Now the Minnesota Wild, COVID. We're watching some of the players in the NBA, under restrictions. So it's made it so difficult this year to do the cross-sport props because of the COVID situation. So at the Rampart in the South Point, Chris and the guys and the girls decided we're going to hold off till a little closer to game time. That will be our last prop. Obviously, they will be up before Sunday, probably Saturday early in the morning, but it made it difficult this year, Chris, because you don't know if you don't want to hold somebody's money on a proposition and have to refund the money. That's the most disappointing feeling from a sports gambler or a sports wagerer. So, we want to make sure that they have action on those particular bets. And the COVID just made it so difficult this year, especially with NHL teams, because we love to focus on the NHL certain props that we could possibly put up, saves by goaltenders versus points scored by the Chiefs or, the Buccaneers. So very difficult this year, but I love the cross-sport props. They have been very popular in the past. The COVID situation has made it difficult as bookmakers to put those up this year because, like I said before, I don't want to be refunding money and have, complaints. It just leaves a bad taste in the customer's mouth because, man, I really wanted that. And, it puts more focus on COVID than it should.
So, guys, we got about 8 minutes here before we finish up the show. So we got to get into our actual Super Bowl picks, and I want to know why. So we got to run through it a bit. I'm going to start with Dwayne since we are talking behind the counter and we're talking sports betting. Dwayne, who do you like in this game, and what are you looking for when it comes to the betting?
Well, I'll tell you, Jose, it's a great game. It's all we wanted, just like I said. I'm kind of old school, but I know what Patrick Mahomes brings to the table. I'm so leery. I tell you the truth, I'm still in the process of making my decision, but I'll be honest, guys, we're sitting at 3. Chiefs are the favorite, -3, and the total is 56 at the Rampart in South Point.
-110 each way.
I'm liking Tom Brady's chances, guys. I'll be honest with you. I think that they could really, they really manhandle Green Bay. And that was very impressive. Not that the Chiefs weren't impressive, but I think that, Allen was a little more tentative. It was his first experience there. Buffalo's going to be good for many years. I just think they got caught up in the moment. And, that's why the Chiefs were able to succeed and really move the ball down the field. As the old Hank Stram used to say, matriculate the ball down the field, boys. It was amazing. And Mahomes is an amazing talent. This is a great, great game. I'm probably going to take the points. I'm going to, take Tom Brady with the points. I like the 3.5 a lot better than the 3 now.
Yep.
But I think they're going to come out firing. I think even Antonio Brown is going to play in this game, which is going to open things up even more for Godwin. He's a guy to watch for the first touchdown. We know Mike Evans is phenomenally talented. They're getting good play from Brait and Gronkowski. Fournette was, twisting and turning. He looked like he was running against the Steelers for Jacksonville. I really think that defense also could hold Kansas City at times in check. And remember, I said at times. Also, keep your eye on the injury bug and the COVID for the Chiefs. It's there, guys. They're missing a couple of offensive linemen. Some of the secondary guys are banged up. Be careful. You have to pay attention to this. Watch the injury bug and injured list. Let's, be real, guys. Injuries play a major factor in this game. So I'm slightly giving Tampa Bay, the edge and my pick. Very slight. This is a great game. No disrespect to Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey. They're a phenomenal team. Even the running backs are great. Edwards-Helaire when he's healthy. So, I just think it's a matter that maybe the injuries and Tampa will have enough with that defense.
Rob, go for it. Quick.
My
what you got?
my first initial thought was to take the Chiefs. I like the -3. But then, I see these big bets that are coming in on the Chiefs just every day on Twitter, just money line, -3. I've even seen some, and then the thing that wants to talk me out of it is the people that are laying 110,000 -3.5. Like they're willing to lay the hook when they could easily wait to see if the hook ever falls off. And for them to be, willing to lay 3.5 shows how much they feel, how positive they feel that this bet is going to win. But, I feel like the spread. I don't remember the last time that the spread came into play in a Super Bowl. But I think the spread comes into the play this time. I like Tom Brady. I like the points, especially at 3.5. I don't think it'll ever get there. But I think this comes down to a last-minute field goal either way. Either team is going to win by 1 or 2 points, and at that point, who cares? As long as you got the points, you cash.
So you like the Bucks?
I like the Bucks with the points. Always take the points. I don't see it going down to 2.5. So you could wait to maybe see if it goes to 3.5. But I think you're going to get a solid 3.
Win. What do you like, brother? I
like Rob was thinking initially right off the bat, Kansas City. If you want to talk about things that are going to hurt the Chiefs in this game, obviously Eric Fisher, Dwayne talked about it. Offensive line, Eric Fisher out for this game. Never a good sign when you have one of your tackles out. That being said, though, when does this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team run out of gas? You go on the road, you win at New Orleans. You go on the road, you win at Green Bay. Now you're coming home in what's supposed to be a familiar situation, and will be, right? You're sleeping in your own bed. Does that have some type of negative impact on Tampa Bay that, you feel like you had, the world against you and didn't think you could win those 2 games in New Orleans and in Green Bay, and you do? And that's offsetting what the admiration that I have for this Kansas City Chiefs team. I think Kansas City is the best team in the NFL, and I don't think it's really that close, to be quite honest with you. The AFC, I think, is a better conference than the NFC. And again, I'm not trying to disrespect Tampa Bay in any way, but I just think that with that offense, even without Eric Fisher on that offensive line, they're still going to be able to put up points. We saw what they did even after Fisher went out against a Buffalo Bills defense in the AFC Championship game. So I'm going to just keep rolling with it. I say Kansas City handles their business, and I'm even going to be taking a look at, as Dwayne pointed out, an alternative line as well too. I'm going to be taking a look at Tampa Bay or at the Chiefs at -10.5. I believe it's around plus 270 in this game, just for a small wager. But I'm definitely going to be putting a decent one on Kansas City minus the 3 or 3.5. I think it might, as he just pointed out, that it could possibly absolutely go down to 3 by game time. So,
you want to give us your quick take?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Good
old you.
Tampa Bay 34-28.
Ooh, okay. Tampa Bay 34-28. So I like everybody's take so far.
And like Chris said, Jose, minus 10.5, Tampa Bay plus 650 at the Rampart.
There you go. So everybody's on Tampa except for Chris. Chris is on Kansas City. Now, I'm on Tampa. I liked it since the line came out. The line was originally plus 200 on the money line. I'm not taking the points. If I'm taking Tampa, I think they're going to win this game, and I'm taking them straight up. That's just me. Everyone else has their own opinion on how they're going to bet the game and what they're going to take. I, as well, are a conspiracy theorist. Rob knows that because he also is the same way. I like to look at everything. If I'm betting horses, I look at what the jockey's wearing. If he's matching the horse, I look at everything. So the fact that this game is in Tampa, it's after one of the worst years that we've had in the United States with the whole pandemic thing, right? It's Tom Brady's first season in Tampa. No quarterback has ever, or no team has ever won it at home after hosting it and being there, right?
Or has played at home.
Or has played it at home. But what better storyline for it to be with Tom Brady? His 10th Super Bowl, going to win his 7th possibly. You know what I mean? Like, this is insane territory that we're getting into. And just the way everything is working out, the defense has been holding this team up immensely. This defense is great, but their offense is also scary. You're telling me you have Antonio Brown, you have Chris Godwin, you have Cameron Brate, you have Gronkowski, and then you have 2 solidified running backs that can be a starter on any given night in Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette. With that being said, I like Tampa Bay. No disrespect to Kansas City. They are the defending champions. They are still scary, and they can be down by 30 points and still come back and beat you like they had no issue with it. No disrespect to them and what they've done. They made it back. But Patrick Mahomes is also not 100% healthy in my opinion. Turf toe, knee, whatever it was, that defense gets to him, he could get hurt again. I like Tampa Bay money line, and my prop bet that I'm giving out that I like, that I'm also going to bet, not a big number, but it's the will Leonard Fournette score a touchdown. If you can find it, plus 130. Some places have it at 120. I like that. That's my prop bet. But let's go ahead and close out the night, fellas. Let's finish up with Dwayne. Let everybody know where they can find you and what you guys have going on at the Rampart for Super Bowl.
Okay, guys, you can find me on Twitter at MYBookieDwayne, Duane, and always find me at the Rampart Casino. Very active on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Also, I have a podcast, the If M Reverse podcast. Season 2 has taken off. We've had released episode 1. It was very successful. We're going to have a little Super Bowl cast, a tight cast just for selections and picks and basically where the money's going. Some old school stories there too, Jose. And I'm always at the Rampart. We'll be giving out T-shirts for $20 wagers on Super Bowl Sunday. So that's on Super Bowl Sunday, big game day Sunday only. Come on down, get a T-shirt. It's social distance, guys, so we don't have any parties. We don't have much to offer. Restrictions, Governor Sisolak, COVID-19. We have to social distance. We still have the same amount of seating, and a lot of it's going to be reserved, guys, because, we do have to take care of best casino players, and, it's just not the race and sportsbook players. The casino as well are involved, in this time of the year because there are no parties. I mean, normally Grand Ballroom is open. We have 5,000-6,000 people. This year, it's just going to be a totally different feel. We'll have some overflow seating in our buffet, which is a good thing. But remember, it's capacity of 50 in these overflow seating areas. Sportsbook, though, we're giving away T-shirts. We want you guys to come out. It's going to be a great time at the Rampart. We'll have the hot dog cart open, deli, cafe is open, the Earl Grey Cafe.
Cafe is fire. We've been there.
You guys know. Yeah, and Jose and Rob have come down, and it's always a good time. We got some real good food. It's just socially distanced, guys. So try to understand. We're not trying to be, crappy about it. No mask, no service. Wear your mask at all times, especially during Super Bowl Sunday. We're going to be stressing that. So, you could always find me on Twitter for information, the big tickets leading up to the game at MYBookieDwayne, like Jose said. And also the If M Reverse podcast, which has been doing great.
My man, Dwayne Colucci, greatly appreciate you coming on with us, and we're definitely going to have you on again. Hopefully we'll see you out there on Super Bowl Sunday. Have yourself a great night. We're going to finish up with C-Win. C-Win, let everybody know where they can find you, my
Always fun joining you guys. You can find me on Twitter at Christian Win, also on Instagram at CWin77, and on Facebook at Christian W. Win, and all over Sports Talk Radio here in Vegas. Get a chance to bounce on across the board with a lot of stations, so it keeps it fun.
There we go. Rob, any last words?
I'm excited for the Super Bowl. I think it's coming down to the last play. We're going to see a field goal to see who wins it.
There we go. For Rob G, Jose V, Quan59, Chris Wynn, Dwayne Colucci, this has been another episode of Straight Bet Sports here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. No final thought, no closing. Just if you're not betting the Super Bowl or you haven't bet it, but you are going to watch it, sprinkle some money on it. Check out the prop bets. Go talk to Dwayne. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. So then, I am Jose V for Rob G, Quan59, Gorilla Cross Radio, Straight Bet Sports. We are out.
See ya.